Reading in the News Times this morning that there's going to be more transparency from the Danbury Police Department. There's some criticism that you guys weren't transparent enough with the police reports. What say you?
Yeah, so let me just tell you the situation here.
All right.
For about 30 years, there was a reporter named John Pirro, a good guy, who would come down to the police station every day at 3 o'clock and pick up the arrest log. That was commonly known as the police blotter.
Right.
People would turn to the pages of the News Times with glee to read the police blotter to see who got arrested of their neighbors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
People do love that stuff.
Yeah, they do love it. The guy retired like 2008. And for years after that, we would every day at 3 o'clock put out the police blotter, but nobody would pick it up because News Times is down to like one employee and they've sold the building and they're out of here.
Right.
So now all of a sudden they decide they want something called an activity log, which is different than the police blotter, which we don't produce. We never have. We're too big of a city. There's too many calls, et cetera, et cetera. So we only provide a list of arrests. I guess we could figure out something for them. But my point is, they show up and ask for it. Our officers, who are relatively new, have no idea what they're talking about. Then they go on a tirade and have this rant about how we're not being, open and transparent. And I'm like, look, just pick up the phone, call us, and tell me what you need, and we'll give it to you. It's not a state secret here.
Right.
And so, but really, the onus is on them because we all know that they're just printing news from Bridgeport and Norwalk anyways, and they don't have any reporters. So, we'll work with you, but just you got to tell us what you need.
So an activity log would include basically everything, every call that day.
Every call, even if it didn't result in an arrest.
Oh, that seems like a waste.
It's pages and pages of documents per night because we do a lot of calls. I mean, we're 90,000 people. So, people dial 911 when they get a hanging nail, and people dial 911 when they're, God forbid, somebody's, really sick or whatever. So it's just not what they've always wanted. But then they even stopped asking, like 10 years ago. And for 5 years after that, we put it out and nobody picked it up. Finally, the chief said, let's not waste our time putting together this log because nobody comes and gets it.
I'll come and get it. I'm free at 3 o'clock.
You're not going to go get it.
I'll get Vita in the car seat, and we'll drive down and we'll get it.
It's very frustrating because sort of if you read the paper, it implies that we're sort of hiding something. We're not hiding anything. You guys should stop doing your job.
Well, the incident in question was the break-ins outside the gym in May that only came up at a city council meeting earlier this week. That's what they're saying.
Well, the issue was that thefts were up, and by about 10 or 11, incidents throughout the city. So somebody asked the question, well, how come thefts are up? They said, well, we had a couple of break-ins around some gyms and stuff like that. We since have arrested somebody, and we haven't seen any more. So, but that's not uncommon. Look, I mean, there's been these car, break-ins in Brookfield and Bethel and Ridgefield. Then it's not good, and it's really, disconcerting if you own the car. But also, I'll tell you that they weren't break-ins like they smashed the window. Most people left this doesn't excuse it, but I mean, people left the car open. So, it's still a break-in and an intrusion of your privacy. But my point is that, they took that little grain and kernel and turned it into something it's not. And I'm like, listen, you guys don't ask for this stuff. If you want it, we'll give it to you.
Right, we're cranking out the papers. You're not picking them up.
Don't blame us for not doing your job. You haven't done your job.
Ooh, baby. Look at that. Tough talk from the mayor of Danbury, Mark Boughton.
I'm just defending my officers.
I hear you. Right. Got to have your people's back. Let's go national here. Let's broaden it out here, all right?
Yeah.
We had a very famous, now famous protest over the 4th of July where Spider-Man climbed the Statue of Liberty. That's why I call it Spider-Man, not Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
No, some lady was protesting.
It's like underwears instead of underwear.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
This lady was protesting families being separated with the immigration stuff, and she decided to climb the Statue of Liberty. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that was weird. People have just, things are just spinning out of control. I mean, people are so upset, and I get the whole separating the kids from the families is terrible, and I'm sure the president's figured that out now with his new. He's just coming up with a new policy so that make sure that doesn't happen. But the fact that people have just gone to such extremes, it seems odd. I mean, you get a little nervous now. People are definitely on edge.
On edge for sure. Yep.
And we're out there marching in the parade on Saturday morning at Fairfield, and people are in a good mood, but you can just sort of, know that people are just like one comment from being pushed into the abyss.
There's a tension in the air. You're right. You know what? My protest fell flat last week. We were told we had to do mandatory sensitivity training, and I climbed up to the roof of the radio station, and they just pulled the ladder away, and I got a sunburn.
I mean, that's you and I don't do good. We don't do well in the sun either.
Yeah, that's right. Ethan, do you want
to
ask?
I look like an orca without a t-shirt on.
Ethan was ranting and raving about Scott Pruitt this morning. Do you want to have a question? Do you have a question for the mayor about
I just wanted to get his thoughts on what he thought about Scott Pruitt resigning.
See you later.
Or wait a minute. Did he resign or was he forced out?
Who knows what goes on internally. There were there's a dozen investigations of different things that he's done. So
I thought he did a great job, and he thought, it was time to be Attorney General. Let's get Sessions out of there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think somebody tapped him on the shoulder and said, maybe time to step down.
It's
the guy wanted a free meal in every facet of his life. Wasn't he getting a sweetheart deal on the rent in D.C.? Yeah.
That's what the news says.
So that's why you can't take anything from people, right? Like if I offer you, I want to buy you a sandwich, can you take that from me?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
We have a policy. It's a simple one, right? So the policy is if you can eat it, you can keep it. So what does that mean? In practice, that means if you showed up with 2 Yankee tickets and you go, here, Mark, take these tickets to go to the Yankee game, I'd say, love to, but I got to pay for them or I can't go.
Right.
So
okay.
What's your choice? But if you showed up with brownies cooked by your wife and said, here, we want the office to have these, I'm like, bring them on, man. Let's go. That's why I'm like 600 pounds.
If you can eat it, you can keep it. Good.
Right. So number one, combo meal at McDonald's works. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice dividing line. It's served us well. People haven't gotten themselves in a jam. Everybody knows they can't take anything of value. So the rule is if you can eat it, you can keep it.
How do you, I know here at our job, we have to, and this may be hard to believe for some people, but we have to consider everything that we say very carefully. Yeah. You are held to an even higher standard, and I've seen you in action talking to people one-on-one. The answers come very, very fast, very fluid, like right off the top of your head. How do you stay out of trouble saying the wrong thing?
Listen, I say the wrong thing sometimes, and people do parse your words, take things out of context, and try to turn something that isn't into something it is. And, sometimes you say something and people hear it the wrong way, and you're like, no, that's not what I meant. I do that all the time, and I'm sure you guys do too. So, but, one of the things I just decided early on, and I'm sure you all did this on the radio, is that I'm just going to be myself and say what I think and let the chips fall where they may. Now, I try to be sensitive and compassionate about other people and understand that they may be facing difficult times or I may not be able to understand their position, in other words, of where they are in life. But I do try to be straight with people and just say what I think. Now, that doesn't mean that they like to hear the answer, but at least they've heard an answer.
Now, this next question, and it's almost going to sound like I'm baiting you, and I'm not. Because
hit me. Come on.
We were actually asking this question on the show this morning, and the question is, what high-level job do you think you could lie your way into and nobody would notice? Now, I'm not baiting you. We were really doing this. And mine, Ethan's was really good. Ethan says he could lie his way into being a therapist and nobody would notice, and I believe that. Mm. And mine was coach in the National Football League.
Okay.
What do you think you could pull off?
Air traffic controller.
That's an odd answer.
Or history teacher.
Guys, it's really simple. They talk really fast. They go Charlie Baker to Alpha 22,000 over. Check Charlie right over. I'll just get on there and talk gibberish.
There you go.
You missed Ethan's joke there.
Or you do a history teacher. Walk right in there.
Oh, funny.
All right, look. We're so late. We have to go.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, thanks for the time.
Thank you for talking.
All right, boys. See you at the fireworks tonight. I'll be in the I-95 party bus.
That's right.
9 p.m. See you. Bye.
See you later.